What is up, everybody? It's your boy T918. You're probably wondering why I still got my jacket on in the house. Don't worry about that. We about to make some pizza though, DiGiorno rising crust, and guess what I got in the freaking air fryer? We got some tater tots. We about to be crushing, boy. Let me sit down. Look, I already took my glasses off for this video, y'all, because this video is about to be a real one. Don't ask me why my middle finger's bandaged up. It gets real out here, y'all. Look. I wanted to make this video to say, do not allow these companies to push you around, okay? Now, there's this guy that I know that's actually in my job, and he's a real cool guy. He's an FTM, you know. There's a big difference between me and him. I shake his hand all the time and say he's an amazing employee because, you know, he gets the job done and he does 120 per 1,000%. Like, you know, we're just on two different playing fields, which is fine. You know, some people got the employee mindset, some people got the entrepreneur mindset. He's the kind of guy that's going to be working for a company for the rest of his life. Like, you know, he doesn't, you know, think about entrepreneur, and he doesn't want to be one. Like, you know, I talked to him about it, and he says, you know, he's fine working the job. He's got a wife and family and kids and everything like that. And he takes pride in the job, which is fine. Like, you know, I'm sitting there, like I said, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh, bet, you know, I'm calculating in my mind the exact minutes and seconds I got until I can leave. He's telling me that he goes home and talks to his wife and his kids about merchandise and how he gets the back stock down to one cart at every single store, and how all the stores talk about him and they praise him for how good he is and all this. And I'm just like, oh, that's good for you and everything, man. But he was like, man, I just feel like I'm everybody's bitch. And I was like, why you say that, though? And he was just like, because, like, you know, they're always telling me to, you know, they're always telling me to stay overtime. You know, he's supposed to go in for like a 4-hour shift. He end up pulling a 10-hour shift. You know, he gets to the point where it's so bad that they expect him to say yes. So one time he said no, and you know, one time he said no to not working overtime, to working overtime, and the manager got mad at him, caught an attitude, was like, well, all right, you said always you can do it. I don't know why you can't do it today. He told me that his grandmother is actually dying of cancer. She's in the hospital, and she only has 3 weeks left to live, and that they are still treating him this way, that they're still pushing him and telling him that he has to go into work. I looked at him, and I was like, what? He said that, and the company knows this. He said that the company actually knows. He's told the DSL, he's told all the other RSRs, and I looked at him straight up and I was like, you want to know why they're doing this to you, man? He was like, why? And I was like, 'cause they don't give a shit about you, man. And he was like, he got, you know, naturally defensive. He was like, what you mean they don't give a fuck about me, man? That's not, you know, the company cares about me. You know, they're paying for me and my family. And I was like, hey, man, let me just be real with you, okay? I was like, the companies, there are, like, you know, good companies out there. You know, I'd say within 100%, 10% of them are good, decent companies. You know, CEOs, and, you know, they actually run the company and treat their, you know, employees well. But a good 90% of them are doing the exact same thing that employees do when they're looking for a job, or, you know, before they become official employees. What do most people do when they go look for a job? They look for a job because they want to make money. That's the one thing they're caring about. They don't care about the job. They don't care about what they're doing in that job. They just care about, I'm want to make money, so I need to make money, so I need to get a job. Pretty straightforward. What are these companies thinking? These companies are thinking, we need people that make us more money. So that's what they do. And I was like, you're nothing but a number to them, man. I was like, that's why they take advantage of you like that. And they're going to take advantage of you like that because they know that they can. I was like, I'm not saying, I told them I'm not trying to make myself sound like I'm some kind of badass, something like that, like, or a bad employee, but I cut that shit out immediately. I was like, I don't do that stuff, son. And I was like, that's fucked up. I was like, it pissed me off. It pissed me off. I was like, to know that your grandma is dying in the hospital and that these other people are just treating you this way. I was like, they don't care about you, man. You're a number to them. I was like, matter of fact, 9 times out of 10, no, 10 times out of 10, half of these companies would replace you with a robot in an instant if they could. Most of the companies are actually doing that right now. There are companies that will replace people with a robot. I mean, fucking hell. You got companies that are replacing doctors and shit. Well, not actual, like, doctors, but, you know, there are machines that are, like, performing surgery and shit like that, man. If a company could replace you with a cheaper and efficient robot, you best believe they could. I mean, they would. And I told him, man, I was like, that's messed up. And, you know, he told me that, you know, like, his grandma's, you know, obviously he's real close to his grandma and everything. And, you know, with her having 3 weeks left to live, them, you know, in the company knowing this, you know, still asking him to work overtime and stuff like that. He's bringing it up in conversations and trying to tell the managers that, you know, this is really important to him. And, you know, they're just saying, yeah, but you still have to do this work. You know, you still have to, you know, put the work in, you know. And I'm just like, yo, like, what? That could not be me. Ain't no way in hell. I told him, that's why I shook his hand and I was like, yo, like, you're one good ass employee, son. I was like, cause I get pissed off and I get taken out of my element and taken out of my day when I'm 5 minutes overtime. And I have nothing to do when I get home. I mean, of course, I got things to do. Like I work on my, side business and everything, and work on, other things like that when I get home. But, I don't have like any actual emergencies, like any actual real, like, big deals, like when I get home, like things that need to be addressed immediately. I'm like, yo, this dude has his dying grandmother in the hospital, and knowing that she only has a certain amount of time to live, and he's still staying because this company is, treating him that way, telling him he needs to do this, he needs to do that, he better do this, he better do that, picking up all these shifts. I shook that dude's hand and I was like, yo, you gotta put your foot down, man. You gotta put your foot down. You gotta tell these companies to fuck off. I was like, cause I tell them, man, they try to keep. I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. They try to keep me past a certain time, and I'll just say no. Like I'll be like, nah. Can you work? No. Just straight up no. Like I told the other manager, I'm gonna make this video quick because I gotta put my pizza in the oven. But y'all, I told my manager, I had a meeting with her a little while back, and I told her straight up, this is RSR. I'm not going to mention his name. I've talked about this in the previous video, but this is RSR, man, that literally he shows up late to the store. He gets the order checked in. He expects you to do all these things, especially when you got a certain off time. Merchandise, as I said this in previous videos, merchandise, we have a certain time that we actually have to get out of a store. We have a set schedule. Unlike RSRs, they can stay in the store for 20 years if they want. We have to be in the store at a certain time and leave at a certain time to get to our next store or to get off, either way. I don't work this other guy's store anymore, but long story short, when I used to work it, he would always get there late. I was supposed to leave the store at 12 p.m., and then that's when I actually get off and go home. He would show up at like 11 o'clock. Order don't get checked in until 11:30. Now I got 30 minutes to work 4 or 5 huge carts, and he's like, oh yeah, plus both end caps are changing, plus I need you to finish the order and pack out everything in the store at every single display and section, plus, make sure it's fronted and looks good before you leave. In 30 or 20 minutes. And I've been there for like actually 3 hours. I've actually been there for 3 or 2 hours. I get there at 8 o'clock, so leave at 12, so 4 hours. And I told my manager, like the actual DSL, and she was pretty upset when I said it because of the way that I said it, but I didn't give a fuck. And I told her straight up, I said, I have no problem staying and helping out when things that are out of our control, right? And I feel like y'all should take this into a job, any job you're going into as well. I don't have any problem staying, because they had a discussion with us. Anything that's out of our control, that's fine. Like, I don't want to stay overtime, but, if a truck shuts down and there's a problem every day, and I told her this is a problem, happens every single day at the warehouse, it's just like Satan controls that warehouse with the much bad shit happens there. But truck shuts down, power outage, order comes on pallets, truck shows up late. Like just like today, a truck showed up late today. I'm not gonna make this too long of a story, but truck showed up late today, y'all. Now check this out. I stayed an hour and a half overtime because there were 2 changeovers in that store. That's just me changing 2 displays. I had 2 displays to change plus an order to work. I meant to get there at 7, leave that store at 11, so 4 hours. I stayed until 12:30 because the order didn't get there until 9:30 and it didn't get checked in until 9:45. So I had to stay there until 12:30 to finish everything, to do both displays and all that other shit. So I was like, I told her in the meeting, I was like, I have no problem staying if trucks show up late, truck breakdown, another RSR or FTM needs help on a route because they ordered too much or they just have too much to do that day, so they need help. I don't have any problem doing that. But I was like, I will be damned to hell. That's exactly what I said, y'all. I will be damned to hell. I put my finger just like this, the index finger. I put it just like this. Damn to hell if I stay 1 second beyond my time because someone else who's consistently inconveniencing other people and is known for doing that is going to just consistently inconvenience people and just do that and expect them, expect you just to deal with it. I told her, I'm not doing that. I was like, I'm not doing it. And she was like, well, part of the job description, and I cut her off, which I shouldn't have because she's my manager, but I cut her off and I was like, I don't care. I was like, I'm not going to be inconvenienced and taken out of my day every day over someone who's known for doing this. There was some dude who almost quit because of this guy who's constantly late, constantly making excuses, no communication whatsoever. You try to text him 5 times, no response. Try to give him a call 3 times, no response. Shows up to the store, your store late, you're there for a certain time. He don't get the order checked in until 30 minutes after you leave. Other FTMs, they'll actually stay in that store and work that order. They're not, this was to be getting off at 12 p.m. They don't get off until 5, 6 p.m. in the evening. And they're supposed to be back to work around 4 a.m. the next morning. And I told my manager, I'm not doing that shit. Write me up suspend me, fire me, I don't give a shit. Do what you got to do. I'm not going to be inconvenienced by someone else. And that's what I told, this story wraps back around to the other guy that had this issue, with his grandmother on her deathbed with 3 weeks left to live. I told him, ain't no way in fucking hell. I told him I get pissed off when I'm 5 minutes over time and I have nothing to do when I get home. You really think that they would have the nerve? I can't even talk. I get pissed off just thinking about what he's going through, the emotional turmoil. To have the fucking nerve to tell me that I have to stay, or you want me to do overtime, and I've got family dying, I've got real issues I'm dealing with, and I was like, you actually have to develop a speaking voice. And one of the other employees told me this when I got hired. You have to develop a voice when you say no. You're not doing that. I was like, he's afraid he's gonna get fired. I was like, nah, companies can fire you for whatever they want. Most of them are under what you call at will, which is they say that you're protected, but unless you're under actual union, you're really not. They can fire you whenever you want to. This 90-day probationary period is kind of bullshit. They just say that, but anytime within that or even after that, if they deem you, not really beneficial, they can let you go. And I told him, man, you're nowhere near being fired, man. You're one of the best employees here. Keep your head up. And I was like, if in all honesty, if anybody would be let go, it would be me. And that's just being real. I ain't trying to be fucked up, but I was like, cause I don't accept shit. Like I just don't. Like I go in, I do my work, I stay overtime once in a blue moon, but that's it. And I was like, you got to develop your speaking voice. So the summary of this video, y'all, is don't be afraid to tell them no. Whatever company you're working for, whether it be Fruito, whether it be, another HR company, whether it be, I don't know, whatever company you're involved in, retail, a sale, don't be afraid to tell people no. Don't be afraid to draw that line, because they will take advantage of you if you let them. And I was like, that's why they're taking advantage of you, man. I told them that's why, because you're letting them. Because they know that even though you're going to bite your tongue and even though you don't want to do it, they know you don't want to do it, but they know you're going to do it. An example of today, right? I got to put my pizza in the oven, damn it. But an example of today is, right, like, there was no communication, like, between, like, the other RSR didn't pay attention. The DSL put us in a group chat last week. She told us that I was no longer going to be going to his store, like his Giants. I'm going to be going to his Walmart. And he acknowledged it. She told us last week, he's no longer going to your Giant. He's going to be going to your Walmart from now on. So you need to rearrange your schedule to fit that. He said, okay, I got it. Today, that's when I met the other FTM at the Walmart. And I'm confused, like, why is he here? Like, FTMs don't work together because, we're spread out to help other RSRs cover their routes. So I leave that store and I call him, because he sends me a message and I'm about to head to a different store for a different RSR before I leave for the day. He sends me a message for the end cap change. He's like, okay, so you put these chips here, and okay, and make sure you do this before you leave, and also make sure you do this. I look at my phone, I'm confused. I'm like, look around and shit. I'm like, wait a minute. He must not be talking to me, because I don't go to that store, and he got me fucked up. If you think I'm about to, work 3 stores, I got 2 stores normally on my Friday. It's supposed to be a 7-hour shift, turned into an 8.5 because the truck got late to the other store. But anyway, it's like he know I'm not showing up to his store. Ain't no way in hell I'm showing up to his store and doing 3 stores and end up working 13, 14 hours. So I give him a call. I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, I don't work that store anymore. I don't go to your store, that store anymore. I only go to your Walmart, and then that's it. And he was like, well, what do you mean? I sent the other guy to that store. And I was like, yeah, I just saw him as I was walking out. And he gonna have an attitude to get pissed off of me. What do you mean, man? You should have made sure to contact the DSL. This is ridiculous, man. This is totally not radical and cool. Man, you should have contacted the DSL. You need to have more communication. And I was like, no, you need to pay attention, because the DSL clearly said in the message last week that we are going to be going to different stores. You weren't paying attention, and you sent your other FTM to our store, and you fucked the schedule up. And so, what did they do? Now, like I said, once again, this guy, his grandmother's passing away in the hospital, 3 weeks left to live. He told me after this store that he was helping me in, that Walmart, that was going to be his last store, because he said that he wanted to go visit his grandmother, right? Rightfully so, obviously. They called him, because they ain't going to call me. They know they're not going to call me to go do that store. I'm not doing that. They called him, and he accepted that store. And he already been working 7 to 8 hours after helping me. He went to go service that store. And I was like, yo, I was gonna text Tim and say, yo, why did you do that, man? You could have told him you're shit out of luck. I said, now he told me that and now at this point he not gonna even see his grandma today. And I was like, yo, it's like, nah, man. See, you gotta cut that shit out, man. So y'all, summary of this video. This video is supposed to be 4 minutes. It's ended up on, what is it? 15 minutes long. Jesus H Christ. Y'all, so that is the summary, man. Don't let these fucking companies try to bully you, because they will if you let them. Stand your ground. Let them know, don't fuck with me. Let them know, back off. You're there to do your work. That's it. They can ask you. They can ask. They can try to pressure you, but they cannot force you to do shit that you not want to do, especially if someone's in the hospital, especially if you're going through some kind of emotional turmoil or personal stuff. You better fuck off with that Mickey Mouse shit, man. I wish someone would do some stupid shit like that. I'll end up fucking roundhouse kicking. You know, let me not say that. But all right, y'all, I'm about to put this pizza in the oven and beat my penis severely. You know what I'm saying? When I say beat my penis severely, I mean, let me put my glasses on. I mean so severely that my right hand is going to look like SpongeBob's arm in that one episode when he was lifting all those weights, and like he had like that one arm and he was like, check it out. Like y'all like he had like that one wimpy arm, but his other arm was like, you know, the inflatable jump. Y'all seen that SpongeBob episode? Like when he had like the inflatable, like the inflatable arm. He was trying to impress Sandy at the beach, lifting up them weights. That's how my right arm's gonna look by the time I'm done. I mean, vigorously. I mean, astonishingly. That is gonna be the result of this masturbation session. And this is a serious matter because, people just sometimes they don't even, okay, I'm just going on a whole rant now. This video started off as something, and all right, we're gonna roll out. I'll catch y'all in the next episode.